Hi everybody, AJ Angina here again, and welcome back to my music series, video series on my favorite albums of all time. So today I'm going to start with vinyl, and I know it's at least going to be a two-part series. I did it a little different than the CDs, because CDs I went in at it blind. This one I kind of sorted out some of the not so great vinyl that I have. There's lots of throwaway stuff. So we're going to start off today, and what do we got here in the pile? Greatest selling album of all time. I think it spent the most weeks on the Billboard charts than any other album ever. I bet you it's been like 30 plus years. I'm sure right now I'm going to put it like somewhere here or there about how long it's actually been in the charts. But Dark Side of the Moon, you guys all know this one. It's like Frampton Comes Alive, right? The joke from Wayne's World. If you lived in the suburbs, you were practically issued it. It's the same with Thriller. You know what? It's got them all. I do think that there's some great history on Beat It with the Eddie Van Halen connection about playing solo and then denying it for years and finally like admitting to it. But you knew it was Van Halen. You could just tell from the tone and the way it sounded. Like Beat It's a great song. Alright, I don't shy away from this. Def Leppard. You know that joke, what has 9 arms and sucks? Yeah. Anyway, I do like Def Leppard. This one's got Photograph. Oh, Foolin'. Foolin's a good one. I like that one. Rock of Ages. Pyromania. Now, I talked about this on CD. Bad Out of the Hell 2. Bad Out of Hell 1. Meatloaf. Good stuff. You know, I like these art, like Meatloaf is just trying to whatever. Meatloaf, his material, his best material was definitely Bad Out of Hell, but the songs were written by Jim Steinman. Shout out to these guys. They made a third one in the early 2000s, I think. I did have that. That was not as good as the first two. It's still pretty decent. Talked about Van Halen. Van Halen 1, you can still see I bought it for $4. It has seen some better days. I think I left it in the garage over winter. Van Halen, one of my favorite guitar players of all time. Now, this I threw in there because I do have a lot of Beatles albums, but there's nothing like a greatest hits compilation. And I mean, the blue one, the blue greatest hits, is my favorite of their greatest hits. It has literally all the big hits, right? Like Strawberry Fields, Penny Lane, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. I'm the Walrus. I do like that one. Hello Goodbye, Hey Jude, Revolution, Back in USSR While My Guitar Gently Weeps. I mean, Come Together. This one. If you're gonna buy any Beatles vinyl or whatever, this is the one. I highly recommend the blue one. This is one of those ones where you get it for one song. You know which one I'm talking about. Devil Went Down to Georgia. Shout out to Nickelback for covering that this year. I did like that cover. Nothing's quite as good as the original because of the fiddle and stuff, but I did like the way they did it with a guitar. It was very clever. Alright, these next two actually remind me a lot of my dad. They were both albums that he played. I remember in the 90s when he finally made some out-of-town money and he bought himself a nice big home stereo. Shout out to Kenwood. That was his stereo provider of choice. Triumph, the song off Just a Game that was really good is Lay It on the Line. That is a very good, like, just a classic rock song. But shout out to Triumph for that one. And this one, David Wilcox. I don't know if this guy was ever, like, really popular. But the song on here was called Breakfast at the Circus. I mean, that's the album name. That's a great song. It's not like rock. It's not like pop. It's clever. It's good. Okay. Well, greatest hits album. I mean, if you're gonna have like very little for vinyl stuff, I mean, greatest hits is the way to go. Side 2 is the one you want. Side 2 has The Joker, Fly Like an Eagle. I didn't pick my nose, I swear. I'm just really itchy for some reason. The Joker, Fly Like an Eagle, Jet Airliner. I do like that one a lot. Side 2, shout out to Steve Miller Band. Okay, here's a fun one. Fred Penner, The Cat Came Back. And it has his best one. So Fred Penner, his best song is Sandwiches. Fred Penner is, I feel like he was from Manitoba, like he's from somewhere over, he's Canadian for sure. But yeah, I think Fred Penner's local to me here. Got some interesting artwork and stuff from kids, but you know, Fred Penner came back, children's entertainer. This guy had it all but sandwiches. I think the first like concert I ever went to was a Fred Penner concert at the Winnipeg Concert Hall. Shout out to Fred Penner. Wow, okay. That's just straight Canadian. Bob and Doug McKenzie, the Great White North vinyl. Okay, so this was the first vinyl I ever purchased. This is, I bought it at a record shop in Toronto. I want to say somewhere around 2002. And originally I thought it was sealed, but I guess I broke the seal or something. But Wish You Were Here, Pink Floyd. I bought that for $10 back then. Now, I don't have the one underneath it. So this is Styx, Paradise Theater. I love like one side's good, like the premiere, and the other side it's closed down. These old albums are fantastic. They had all kinds of, you know, lyrics and stuff. They had to fill up the books. But Paradise Theater, I wanted to call one of my bands that at one time. Yeah, that was good stuff. Does this have Sweet Men in Blue in it? What do they got? I don't know. Oh yeah. Okay, well this is a good one anyway, regardless. Pac-Man Fever. I don't know if I ever listened to this. I think this is all about video games, to be honest with you. It says Pac-Man Fever, Froggy's Lament, Ode to a Centipede, Do the Donkey Kong, The Defender, Mousetrap Going Berserk. Yeah, this is like an ode to video games. Cool. I should probably listen to this sometime, because I don't remember that. Yeah, much like Megadeth on the last video, like what do you say about Metallica? I mean, they did have essentially 3 different eras, right? They had the thrash era, the 80s thrash, and then they did like rock in the 90s and 2000s, and okay, 4 if you count Saint Anger, because that was just, come on, you want to talk about a snare drum? We can talk about a snare drum, Saint Anger. But and the new stuff, they've kind of went back to like a metal thrash kind of thing. But Master of Puppets, I mean, this has got some good ones on it. All right, Glass Tiger. All right, this one, Don't Forget Me When I'm Gone. But like, this is the cool thing about this one. It is a clear vinyl. I have some cool vinyl. In the next video, I'll show you some other of the cool ones. But yeah, shout out to these guys. Is this okay? So this is not Every Breath You Take, as in like a 45 single. It is obviously on a 33. It's a 12-inch vinyl, right? But The Police is another greatest hits. Roxanne, Message in a Bottle, Don't Stand So Close to Me, blah 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 blah. The Police, you guys know who they are. Good stuff. Every time I talk about vinyl to somebody, and especially from like, well, I guess it was all part of this age. This was the popular music back then, was like 80s metal. Everyone seems to remember this when I say that I have it. Metal Breakfast? Metal for Breakfast. A compilation album, but everyone seems to remember like some dude in a leather jacket and eating like ball bearings. Yeah, I don't know, it's got some good stuff. Anvil. Oh, Ted Nugent's Cat Scratch Fever's on here. Priest, Quite Right, Ozzy. Balls to the Wall. That's right. Okay, so I live in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and it is a weird place. I mean, I love it, but we are weird people. Back in, I want to say the 70s. When did this come out? 74. So I'm going to say in the early 70s, there was a movie that was released, and it was called Phantom of the Paradise. Everywhere else in the world, I think it had its regular cinema release, and it wasn't very popular. But in Winnipeg, I believe it stayed in theaters for like 9 months. For some reason, Phantom of the Paradise was like such a big deal here where I live. Anyway, this is the vinyl. I don't know what I did with the jacket for it, but Phantom of the Paradise was like a rock opera musical movie. I do like it. My dad showed it to me when I was a kid. I've always liked it, and they've got some good songs. I thought, it would be kind of interesting would be one day to do a cover album of this album. Redo all the songs from Phantom of the Paradise. I think that'd be cool. Whew, another good songwriter, Tom Petty. Free Fallin', Won't Back Down, Running Down a Dream. This is a good. Oh, I still have it in here too. It's not bad quality. You know what this is? Tom Petty. As you already know, my favorite movie of all time is Wayne's World, and one of the most iconic scenes has them doing Bohemian Rhapsody off of this one, Night at the Opera. Do I need to say anything else about Queen? Shout out to Queen. Here's a fun one. One of my favorite movie series is Star Wars. Yes, I'm a Star Wars geek. Not to the point where I read all the books, because I don't read the books, and I never did watch Clone Wars, although I hear that's good. I did watch some of the other cartoons like Rebels, which I thought was fantastic. But this is Star Wars and other galactic funk. It's like a funk Star Wars thing. I've only listened to it once or twice, but it was pretty interesting listen. But this is a cool little album here. Make no secret, Elton John writes some damn good songs, and this Madman Across the Water is a winner. Although he did waste a whole bunch of space here on like nothing. This one, Tiny Dancer, Levon. So Levon, talk about that first. Did you guys ever hear the Bon Jovi version of Levon? It's unbelievable. It's almost better than the original. It's that good. The other thing here is Tiny Dancer. Every time I hear that song, I'm reminded of that scene out of the movie Almost Famous where they're on the bus. I think they had a fight and they're all just sitting there quietly, and then Tiny Dancer comes on. They all start singing it, and they become like, it's a big moment where everyone gets back together. But Almost Famous, shout out to that movie. Shout out to Tiny Dancer. Great song. And so this first video is just going to be the classics. I'm going to have a more modern vinyl video that's going to come out next. And so this is the last one as part of my, I don't know what you want to call it, vintage, my old LPs, originals, blah, blah, blah. So this is in my top 5 albums of all time. If it's not number 2 or 3, it's right up there, Zeppelin 4. Everyone loves Zeppelin 4. Oh, dude, I used to have a giant poster of this. I think it was like an 8x6 or 8x4 poster of this scene, and then in here had all the lyrics for Stairway to Heaven. And inside the jacket, yep, there they are. There are the lyrics for Stairway to Heaven. Did you guys ever hear that song by Taurus, the one that they claimed Zeppelin stole? It's pretty close. It's not, come on. You can be inspired, but I don't think they stole it. But, okay, whatever. There's not a bad song on this album. Like, really? Zeppelin 4? You guys would know the popular ones, right? Black Dog, Rock and Roll Stairway to Heaven. Misty Mountain Hop was a good one. Going to California, I guess When the Levee Breaks. I suppose they were all popular, but like, it's almost like a greatest hits. Zeppelin 4. Okay. What did they call? Oh, Zozo. Yeah, that's right. There's the logo right there. They called it the Zozo album. Maybe I should put like some pop-up video things about why they called it that. Cool. So that was part 1 of the vinyl, and we'll see you for part 2.